Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Nur Amin Zabiti Muhammad Hazam and I am Diploma in Logistics and Supply Chain Management student from Polytechnic Metro Johor Bahru. Currently, I am doing my internship at Celestica Electronic M. Sdn Bhd in the shipping department. Today, I would like to conduct a short interview to gain a better understanding of the industry and relate it to what I have learned in my studies. Thank you for your time and let's begin with the interview. Demonstrate ethic and social responsibility in export-import procedures. Question 1. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to make an ethical decision in a export-import procedure situation and what was the outcome? During my internship in the shipping department, I experienced situation where I found out inconsistency between the shipment detail and the document provided. The quantity state in the packing list did not match the information in the system. Instead of ignoring the issue, I will report it to my supervisor and check the information again with the related department, which is a planner or IT department. After correction, the document were updated before shipping processing. This decision helped to avoid custom issue, shipment delay, and inaccurate declaration. So I learned that the honesty and accuracy are so important in export-import procedures. Describe export, import, and social responsibilities. Question 2. How do you define a social responsibility in the context of export-import? Social responsibilities in export-import means conducting international trade activities ethically, legally, and responsibly. Companies need to ensure accurate document, comply with custom regulation, protect the environment, and maintain fair relationship with supplier, customer, and employee. Demonstrate ethics and professionalism in handling tax and duty in export-import procedures. Question 3. Can you describe situation where you had to make a professional and ethical decision involving tax or duty in an export-import transaction? What action did you take and what was the result? During my internship, I was involved in preparing export documents such as commercial invoice and packing lists. I understood that the information provided in this document affect custom valuation, tax, and duty calculation. So I always ensure that the information such as product description, quantity, value was accurate before submitting the document. I found out that any unclear information, I will discuss it with supervisor instead of making assumption. Share ethics and professionalism in a custom declaration procedures in export-import activities. Question 4. Tell us about a time when a college or superior asked you to omit information from a custom declaration and what did you do? Actually, I don't have any experience with this question directly, but if it happened, I will politely explain that all custom declaration must be accurate and complete according to Custom Act 1967. I will discuss the issue with a supervisor and request clarification before proceeding. Maintain a transparency is important because incorrect custom information can lead to a penalties, delays, and legal issue. Initiate ethical and professional practice when completing custom form during export or import transaction. For the question 5, How do you handle situation where a supplier or client provides questionable information for inclusion in a custom form? I will not immediately use the information without verification. I will check the detail with the supporting document and communicate with the supplier or related department for the clarification. Accuracy in a custom form is important because inaccurate information may affect shipment clearance and a company compliance. Understanding of Incoterm in export-import procedures. For the question 6, did your supervisor or team explain how Incoterm affect the buyer and the seller? And how do you think ethical use of Incoterm helps in avoiding misunderstanding? So, yes, I learned that Incoterm define the responsibilities, costs, and risks between the buyer and seller in international trade. Using the correct Incoterms help both parties clearly understand who is responsible for transportation, insurance, custom clearance, and delivery risks. Ethical use of Incoterm prevent dispute and improve transparency between trading partners. Adopt ethical and professional judgment in the use of Incoterm during export-import activities. For the question 7, can you explain why you using the correct Incoterm is important in international trade and how does it relate to being professional and ethical? For the question 7, using the correct Incoterm is important because it clearly defines each party responsibility and costs and the risk during the shipment. From a professional and ethical perspective, selecting the correct Incoterm ensures transparency, prevents misunderstanding, and creates a fair agreement between exporters and importers. For the questions 8, have you seen or been involved in a preparing document that they include Incoterm like FOB, CIF, EXW? What steps were taken to ensure everything was clear and correct? Yes, I will involve using the Incoterm, which is EXW. I always use that. During my internship, I handle shipping documents such as commercial invoice and packing list, where Incoterm information was included. The steps taken were checking the Incoterm state in the document, verifying it with shipping or shipment instruction in the Excel, and confirming with the supervisor before processing. And this is ensure that the responsibility between the buyer and the seller were clearly stated. And it's so important for putting in your packing list or commercial invoice before you ship the product or the goods. Ethics and professionalism in utilizing Incoterm category throughout. Question 1. Can you explain how the Incoterm category used in affect the exporters and importers obligation and the parties maintain ethical trade practice? So, different Incoterm categories assign different responsibilities between the exporters and importers. For example, under FOB, the exporter is responsible until the goods are loaded onto the vessel, while the buyer takes responsibility after the point. Ethical trade practices are maintained by ensuring both parties understand the agreement document is accurate and responsibility are clearly communicated. For the question 2, have you seen any documentation during your WBL that clear outline the Incoterm use and each party responsibility? And was the process handled with transparency and professionalism? And yes, I have seen shipping documents that include Incoterm information. The process was handled professionally by ensuring all details were checked before shipment approval. The team maintained transparency by following company procedure and ensuring all documents match the shipment requirement. So the last one, my recommendation to improve ethics and a social responsibility in export-import process. The first one is provide regular training on custom regulation, Incoterms and ethical practice. Second, improve document checking system to reduce error in export-import procedures. The third one, encourage transparency between suppliers, custom, and logistic partner. And the last one, use digital system to improve tracking and documentation accuracy. That's all from me. Thank you.